guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. This video is my experience of growing up hard of hearing. I don't know if you know that I have 2 hearing aids in right now, and I was born like this. There is nothing that has significantly made my hearing worse. It is a genetic thing, but I just wanted to share my experience and kind of give a bit more light to the struggles of being a deaf person. I am only partially deaf. Gosh, that's a loud aeroplane. I am only speaking from the experience of someone with partial deafness. I'm not completely deaf by any means, but there were still some struggles that I did experience growing up and still do experience to this day, and I just want to bring light to that because I think a lot of people don't realise quite how difficult it can be. I'm not looking for sympathy. I am completely fine, and I'm just doing this to give light. If you're a teacher watching, it might just be really helpful to, even if a kid doesn't have in your class isn't deaf, just implementing these things in case they've not been diagnosed yet or whatever. But yeah, if this is your first time on my channel, hey, I'm Lara. I am 20 years old. I make videos 3 times a week and based on like my lifestyle, my faith. I do geography revision content as well, and I hope you enjoy this video. Please subscribe down below if you're not already, and let's get into it. So a bit of backstory. My grandma is quite deaf, my dad is deaf, not only partial. And so there is the genetic side. My mum has perfect hearing, like she can hear a pinprick in like a mile away, but I wasn't blessed with that gene. And so there has always been a bit of deafness in my family. And my mum and dad started to pick up on me saying, "What? What's this? What's that?" When people would say something over the dinner table, I'd reply with "what?", which I know sounds a little bit rude, but 8-year-old me didn't really care. So they took me to the audiologist in hospital and said, "We don't know if she can hear us or whether she's just being rude or lazy and actually not listening to us." So I got tested and I had all these hearing tests, and they came back and was like, "Yep, no, she can't hear, she's actually deaf." Which is fun. So the way the charts go, I had both ears tested obviously, and most people's chart levels are like this. You can hear the same across all frequencies, whereas mine dips in the middle here. So this is like low frequency, I'm fine. How do I do this? Low frequency, I'm fine. The mid frequencies, which ironically is where talking is, I struggle, and then with really high pitched noises, I'm fine. So that was annoying. So yeah, I obviously was deaf. I wasn't just making it up, and when I was saying what, I actually couldn't hear them. I wasn't just being rude. So I was given hearing aids through the NHS, these big in-ear mould things. They mould it to your ear, and they put this big like brown thing on the back of your ear. I absolutely hated it. I was in primary school at the time, and I was always the weird one in primary school anyway. People picked on me anyway, and so I just knew it was going to add more fuel to the fire, and I absolutely hated wearing my hearing aids, but I was struggling to hear. So it was the battle of, do I wear this and get bullied or do I not wear this and just deal with the consequences? So I did wear them for a bit, but the bullying picked up. And because, you know, in primary school you had to wear your hair up all the time, everyone can see it, whereas at least now, like, you can't even see my hearing aids. So I hated wearing them in primary school because I was being picked on left, right and centre. I wasn't cool. I desperately wanted to be cool and like accepted by the cool people, and being deaf just wasn't going to help with that at all. And so I didn't wear them. I was the only person in my school at the time with hearing aids, and so teachers didn't really know what to do. And then fast forward a couple of years, there was another girl in school that then got hearing aids, and the teacher kind of put me in touch with her and was like, "Do you wear them?" And I was like, "No, but I can try and help." Fast forward to secondary school, I still didn't wear my hearing aids, but I found this a lot more difficult because the classes were quite big, and generally once I got to secondary school, people were slightly more misbehaving in the fact of like, if I was sat at the front of the class, people would be talking at the back, and I'd really struggle to hear. I was in a grammar school, and so you'd imagine that wouldn't happen, but it still did. But yeah, it didn't make it any easier. So year 7, I still wasn't wearing my hearing aids at all. But kind of year 8 and 9, I got the confidence to say to my teachers, look, I really can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. And I wasn't wearing my hearing aids. They knew I was deaf, and I was getting regularly checked through the school as well as having these audiologist appointments out of school. So it was great fun. But there were some things I really struggled with. So for example, if a teacher was writing on a board and facing the board and I was sat behind here, I couldn't hear what they were saying, which I really struggled with, especially in languages. French in particular. My teacher used to always write on this whiteboard, and he had quite a strong Scouse accent but was trying to speak French, and so I just couldn't understand what he was saying to me. Yeah, that's just one thing you don't even think about when you can hear. I couldn't hear because I lip read so heavily. So you know, COVID, masks, even worse. But yeah, that was one of the things, writing on a board. If there was loads of people talking in a lesson, I'd really struggle to hear either the person next to me or the teacher, especially if I was quite far back. So I always either asked or chose to sit quite near the front of the class so that I could always hear my teacher. If a video was playing, quite often they'd have it quite low so that they weren't disrupting other classes. I couldn't hear that. Assemblies were the worst, especially if it was like students taking them. Yeah, there was a microphone, but they never spoke loud enough, so I couldn't really hear what they were saying. Exam invigilators, usually it's quite quiet in there, but if they start being like, oh, you know, when they come over and they're like, can I help you with anything? And you're like, I can't hear you, I can't speak loud, we're in an exam room. That wasn't fun, so that was up to GCSEs. I was getting more confident in being able to tell people when I couldn't hear them. By this point, everyone knew I was deaf anyway, but some people still took the mick out of me for it, or would say things really quietly, just so that I'd have to be like, I can't hear you, and then they'd be like, oh no, it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, it annoys me so much. If I say, oh, what have you just said? They repeat it again and I still can't hear them. So I ask them to repeat it again and they go, oh, it doesn't matter. Please, 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 if you know that this person is deaf, or you don't even know, don't just kind of write it off. It annoys me so much because I really want to hear what you're saying, and I'm not ignoring you, I just really struggle to hear what you're saying sometimes. In the same way with accents, especially if people have got a really strong accent that I've not tuned into yet, I really struggle to hear it. So I had quite a few Northern Irish teachers in school with a thick, like, Belfast accent, who I really struggled to hear, especially if they were really quickly speaking or really quiet. There was one in particular that had a really thick Northern Irish accent, spoke really quickly and was really quiet, and so I really struggled to hear what he said. But I always felt rude, especially once I got to sixth form, being like, sir, I can't hear you. Yeah, I wasn't trying to make a big fuss, I guess. But throughout the whole of secondary school I didn't wear my hearing aids because I was so badly bullied about it in primary school, or like picked on. Bullied isn't the right word, picked on for it in primary school, that I still wanted to be popular going into secondary school, but that wasn't going to be the case. So yeah, they were the kind of biggest struggles, the talking in lessons, the whiteboard, the exam invigilators, the assemblies, and accents. And I know I can't change someone's accent, I'm not expecting to be able to, but there is a possibility of people being able to make a bit more of an effort when speaking. I know I probably do it a lot, I speak quite quickly, and if I know someone's deaf, I'll try and deliberately slow down. But also, there is one thing that is really annoying. So you know when you're speaking and someone can't hear you, and then people over-exaggerate it? That just doesn't help, because for a lot of people who are hard of hearing, deaf, they lip read. So if you're over-exaggerating what you're saying, it kind of doesn't make sense, because they're not lip reading, they're trying to understand what you're trying to say. So if I say it like this, it looks really weird, whereas if I just say it like this, I know as a hard of hearing person I'd find the second one easier to understand. So yeah, if you know deaf people, please just love them well. They don't want to be a nuisance when they can't hear you. I just wanted to raise a bit of awareness about this. Anyway, I'll carry on with the story. So I got to uni, obviously COVID was a thing for my first year, so I had kind of 6 months in uni, And it was very much, you had a big lecture, so you were sat quite far away from your lecturer, and so often they wouldn't use the microphone. There's a microphone there, but they don't use it. So annoying. And I was quite happy to say, look, I can't hear what you're saying to me. I tried to sit near the front, which usually helped, but especially again if they had an accent. So I've got one lecturer who's got like a really thick Irish accent, who speaks again really quickly, who I struggle to hear. But I'd quite happily say now, because I do have the confidence in knowing actually it's my ears and I can't hear you. So it got to the summer of my first year, so about this time last year, and I just said, I can't do this anymore. I can't hear what people are saying to me, and it's affecting my life in a way of, like, I can't hear, and I'm paying for this education now. I want to do well. And so I went private. I went to Boots with my mum and my dad, because mum has always said, just like wear your hearing aids, but I hate, you've probably seen them, they're like thick moulds that they go into your ear and you can see them. Whereas even if I have my ear like this, you probably can't see my hearing aid. There is one there, I promise. If I show you the back, you can see it there maybe. That I have 2 hearing aids now, so I went and I got tested in Boots. My parents did let me go private because I didn't like the NHS ones, and like they weren't tuned right. To me they sounded like everyone was talking into a microphone, which just is very unnatural. You know the sound when you're just listening to a microphone and it doesn't sound very nice. That's all I could hear. It wasn't like some people's voices were amplified or the background noise, everything was amplified. So I just didn't get on very well with NHS hearing aids. I had 2 different types. I had the in-ear mould ones and ones similar to this, but they just sounded so, everything just seemed loud, which just wasn't solving my issue. Like even the low sound seemed louder, which I didn't need help with. So I went private. I think these are like the Phonak something or other. They have an app. I never used the app. They were tuned really well to help me hear, and oh my gosh, it's changed my life. Like I got them and I was staying in Liverpool with Stephen at the time. I went with my mum and dad I went with my dad to pick them up, and it's revolutionary. Like we went through the drive-through straight after, and there's noises that I'd never heard before, because like I just hadn't worn my hearing aids out. Even the microwave sounds louder. It's little things that I've noticed, that like I can hear the birds now, or I can hear someone next door having a conversation, which is a little bit annoying sometimes, but you know, that's not a problem. I'm glad that I can hear that, because this is what I'm meant to be hearing. And for so many years it's been so quiet, and the world has seemed so quiet. It has completely changed my life, and this is not me saying go private if you don't like the NHS ones, if you can't afford it. I know I'm in a very privileged position to be able to afford private hearing aids, I guess, and that is such a blessing. But if you are hard of hearing, or you think you might be, just go and get tested. The NHS do it completely free, and even if you're not deaf and maybe you've just got like blocked ears with earwax, at least you know what it is then, because it does make a difference to your life. And like I've seen it in my uni work. Obviously everything this year has been online. Last year I came off with a 2-1 overall. This year, like, I'm well on track for a first, like above and beyond. And obviously it's all been online, so it's a lot easier to hear. But even so, like, I can turn the volume up online. I can't turn the volume up in a classroom. But the joy of being able to hear, and the power that it gives you, rather than shouting away, being like, I don't know what they're going to say and I don't want to be part of this conversation because I won't be able to hear it. Revolutionary, absolutely changed my life. So please, 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 if you are hard of hearing, deaf, just struggle to hear sometimes, please just go and get it checked. You don't know what it could be. Worst thing happen, you might need an operation. Highly, highly unlikely. They might just give you hearing aids. And I think the more people you know that are in this situation, that are younger, because so many older people, I see it in church all the time, so many older people have these hearing aids, and there is a stigma attached to young people also being deaf. That this video is trying to break that. People do have problems when they are younger too. This is a genetic thing for me, and I'm proud of it now. I used to absolutely hate the fact that I was deaf, but through knowledge and through I actually don't know many other young people that are deaf. I have one friend that's in the same boat as me, but that's it. But the confidence that I have got through being able to hear has given me the confidence to stand up and say, actually, stop picking on me for the fact that I'm deaf. It's nothing to do with me. And to every kid who may be watching this, or if you're in secondary school right now and you know someone who is deaf, please don't pick on them. It's nothing that they can help, and there is absolutely no need for it. You wouldn't pick on the guy with glasses, so don't pick on the guy with hearing aids. There is absolutely no point. You're achieving nothing, and you are just ruining their self-confidence. So please just don't do it. It's horrible. Yeah. But if you're a teacher or like a friend of someone who is deaf, just be aware that they probably are lip reading you. I knew I was, and I know so many, I've seen it online, like so many deaf people do lip read, which is why COVID has been such an issue with masks. So there are masks with like a clear thing here, but for me that doesn't really bother me because it's me with the mask. And because I'm tuned into the like accents of my family and Stephen and my friends, I can hear them through a mask. But it is hard. Like in Tesco, for example, someone the other day said, "Oh, have you got a club card?" And I said no, because I didn't want a bag. Like I still can't always hear people, especially when it's like a loud environment. Just be aware that if people can't hear you and they ask you to repeat it, please just repeat it and don't say, "Oh no, it doesn't matter," because they actually want to hear you. They're not being rude by not hearing you. They're just struggling to hear you. So yes, I need to stop rambling, but thank you so much. I really hope this is kind of breaking down the stigma of young people being deaf, because like there are people out here that are deaf, and you actually don't know who it could be. If they've not had the confidence to tell you and you've kind of noticed they're asking what you're saying, maybe they are deaf, maybe you just don't know about it yet, but please love them well. Yes, so this is the end of this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope this opened your eyes to the struggles that someone else might be going through. As I said, I don't want sympathy for this. This is not a sympathy call at all, but it is just raising awareness for the issues that we do face in everyday life. Every deaf person is different, and I'm only speaking from my own struggles and experiences. So if you do have a person in your life that is hard of hearing, talk to them. They're not going to sit there and be like, "No, I don't want to talk to you about it." Often they're saying, "Oh, I don't want to reach out because it's embarrassing that I can't hear." No, if you're that deaf person, speak out, please. Tell people when you can't hear them, and don't just live your life in silence or worry of mishearing people. Get help. Tell the people around you and they will support you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a bit insightful for you. I hope you enjoyed the weather. I apologise for the bird noises, the cockerel, the planes, whatever. But yeah, I really hope this was insightful. Please subscribe down below. It really helps me out. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're on 171 as I'm filming this. This is going out in quite a while, so I don't know how many I'll have when this gets uploaded. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helps at least one person. Yeah, I will see you soon. I upload every Monday, Thursday and Saturday over here on my channel, so please do subscribe down below, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.